I'm Holly Kovo from Fitting Fitness In. I'm a personal trainer and nutrition specialist, and welcome to Get Healthy with Holly. Daily exercise is so important, and now that most of you active agers are staying close to home, it's really important that you exercise at home. If you already belong to a gym or a personal training studio, I encourage you to do their online classes or online one-on-one sessions. If you don't belong to a gym or a personal training studio, then I recommend that you check with your town, because your Council on Aging or your Elder Services Department probably has online classes that you can attend. And if not, there are some really good websites out there that I recommend that you can go to and check out some classes and exercise videos during this pandemic. And the first one is the National Institute of Aging. And we have a slide with all these websites, and that is nia.nih.gov. And they have a program called Go for Life. That's Go, number 4, and Life. And they have exercise videos on their YouTube channel that you can play on your computer, your phone, your iPad, your Chromebook. And they have a lot of different videos, but they are 10-minute videos, 15-minute videos, 20-minute videos, and even 60-minute videos. And you can follow along and do those exercises. The next website that I recommend is Silver Sneakers, silversneakers.com. Now, with Silver Sneakers, you do have to enter some information in, because I guess that if you have the Medicare Advantage plan, Silver Sneakers is part of that plan. So you need to log in and create an account there. Once you're in, though, you can attend any of their online classes, any of their videos on demand, and they have lots of articles as well. If you want something a little bit more mellow, something to keep you calm, but still move, especially if you have arthritis, you want to keep moving, then I recommend my previous guest, Diane Bailey's website, taichisystems.com. On that website, you can join as a member, and they have daily Tai Chi videos. They have other videos as well, but they have a daily series that you can do every day. Just remember, before you start any exercise program, you should check with your doctor. Now, let me show you a few things that you can do at home just to get started with exercise. And you can do this using weights. These are 2-pound weights. You can use water bottles, or you can use soup cans. Now, you can use the Campbell soup cans. I like the Progresso ones. One, they're a little heavier, even if it is only light soup. But also, because I have arthritis in my hands, that the bigger can is easier to grasp, okay? But we're gonna get started with a little bit of warm-up. So you have to get moving. So let's just march in place. It's really important to warm up those muscles before you start working them, because the more warm they are, the easier they'll respond to what you're doing. So just a little bit of marching in place, then step touch. And maybe some hamstring curls. If you need to hold on to a chair while you're doing these, that's perfectly fine. Always have a chair ready. Make sure the chair does not have wheels though, okay? And march in place again. There we go, nice. All right, so we're a little bit warmed up. So let's take our weights. I'm gonna take the soup cans, and I'm going to show you a few exercises. I'm not going to do the full range, the full number of sets, reps. You want to do 10 reps per set, and a set is a number of reps. And if you want to do more than that, you can do 2 sets. But I'm going to show you the exercises, and I'll do a little bit of each so that you can do more at home. So we're going to work our shoulders. Bend your elbows, keep those weights in front of you. Bring them up to shoulder height and back down. Bring them up to shoulder height and down. Don't do this, not chickens. Bring the weights with you only up to your shoulder height, and you're going to want to do 10 sets of those. Bicep curls. Now, one thing while you're doing exercises, strength training exercises while you're standing, you want to release your knees. Don't lock them, release them. All right, bicep curls, bring them up and down. The key is controlling it up and controlling it down. There you go. You want to do 10 sets of these. Good. I want to show you one ab exercise that you can do, and that is take your belly button, push it back towards your spine. And when you do that, tighten your whole abdominal cavity. So squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Now, I want you to do that for 30, a count of 30. And don't worry, I'll put this workout up on my website, fittingfitnessin.com, so you can use it and follow it. Okay, what else do we want to do? Let's do some stuff for our legs. So, we're holding on to the chair to be steady. Now, from this chair I'm holding on, I'm going to come up on my tippy toes and back down. These are calf raises, tippy toes and back down. You'd be surprised, the body weight, a lot of it is held up in the calves while you're walking. So if you'll see, larger people have very strong and very large calves. All right, so you're going to come up and back down, controlling it each time for a count of 10 reps. Now, what else do we do here, holding on? Holding on to that, we can work our legs, the outer part of our legs, by bringing it out and back down. Out and back down. Now, try not to go like this. Try to keep your body upright, and you just bring it out from the hip. It does not have to go high. Work within the limits of your body. So 10 sets on that side, or 10 reps, and then 10 reps on this side. There you go. Nice job. Okay, now, the other thing that I think is very important is push-ups. I want you to do 20 push-ups a day, but start out doing push-ups on the wall. In my case, I'm going to do push-ups on this refrigerator. I'll probably make some finger marks. All right, bring it in and back out. In and back out. The important part is you need to make sure you take your butt with you. I don't want to see this. Okay, I don't want to see that. I want to see nice straight body, bringing it in and back out. Now, if you find that that's too easy, bring it down to the counter. And do push-ups against the counter. Remember, of course, take your body with you. The lower down you go on that push-up, the more challenging it gets. Then you can take it to the top of your chair, then the bottom of your chair. It goes, I could show you 30 different ways to do a push-up. You know that song, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover? I could give you 30 different ways to do a push-up. All right, one more thing. So we want to strengthen our quadricep muscles because those are going to help us if we trip and fall. We want to be able to catch ourselves, and we want our quads to be able to hold up our body weight. So we're going to do some sit and stands. Sit and stand. But it's a little boring just doing that, so I have a song that we'll sing. You can sing along with me. Me, 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 me. Okay, my body lies over the ocean. You know that song? No hands. If you can't sit down and come back up, just come into a squat and come back up. You ready? My body lies over the ocean. My body lies over the sea. My body lies over the ocean. Oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me, to me. Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. Nice job. So you can do these exercises in your kitchen. You can do them in your living room. But it's important to get up and get moving. And this is just a start. I highly recommend that you join a class online and that you get moving with other people, and it's social as well. So let's see what's cooking in the kitchen. So today we're going to have a pumpkin theme. Pumpkins everywhere. It's pumpkin time, and I thought I'd make a few recipes using pumpkin puree. I have a jack-o'-lantern here that my husband Steve carved. It's a little bit of decoration and inspiration for when I cook. And of course, I have to wear my Halloween apron so that I'm in the mood. I just need to maybe put a little meat on my bones. When we were carving the pumpkins, of course, I made some nice pumpkin seeds. And you make these in the oven, you rinse them off, lay them out on a cookie sheet. I just sprinkle some salt on them. Some people put some butter on them. Some people put some olive oil. I just do salt. And then cook them at 350 for 10 minutes, flip them over, and then another 10 minutes. Although I discovered while I was making these that my oven is not cooking to temperature because it took 3 times as long to cook them. And so then we did a test and found out it's running about 50 degrees below temperature. So we're working on that. Might have to get a brand new stove and oven. So we'll see. That's 2020. Okay, so Steve is not the only one who likes to carve pumpkins in our family. Actually, both my girls do. They get their artistic talent from my husband, their dad. But Marissa is really talented, and she has done some awesome carvings, and we'll show you some slides. She always does carvings that are Disney related, and so here's one with Tinkerbell, and she does the whole pumpkin, not just the front of the pumpkin. And then she did Mary Poppins and what is that, Maleficent, with a dragging around her. And then she also did the Little Mermaid theme. She's partial to Little Mermaid. She's a redhead, long curly red hair. Lion King and the Cheshire Cat. In the back it says, "We're all mad here." So those are some great carvings. If you get into it, it's be a fun thing to do as everybody all together. And what I'm going to cook today, I have 2 recipes. The first one is a no-bake recipe, and it's pumpkin pie bites. So this is what I start with. I have a cup of raisins. Now these raisins have already been soaked in hot water for 10 minutes to kind of soften them up. Then I drain them out of the drain the water out. I have a 1/3 of a cup of cashews, but you could also use pecans. I just chose cashews today. I have a 1/3 of a cup of, no, actually this is a 1/2 cup of cashews, but I'll have the recipe up on my website. This is a 1/3 of a cup of pumpkin puree. This is a 1/4 of a cup of unsweetened coconut flakes. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And this is a mixture. Either you could use 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, or you could combine a teaspoon of, where's my cinnamon? Cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. And that's what this mixture is, a combination of all of those. Okay, and then we're gonna put it in the food processor. So let me open this up. And we're going to put the raisins. Now I'm going to use my handy dandy spatula here, and this had broken off, but I love that it's shorter, so I use it for everything. It's my handy dandy one. So let's put these raisins in here, and then we're going to put the cashews. And we're going to grind all that up together first. And let's blend it. Let's see how it goes. We want to make sure it gets to like a paste. Push it down a little bit more. I'm going to go a little bit more. Sorry, it's loud. All right, let's move it over a little bit. I used a food processor at home, but this is working. It's just a little different, you know, when you're used to your own equipment. Let's try. Here we go. All right, so we have that into a paste, and now we're gonna add the rest of the ingredients. The pumpkin puree, which should help it mix a little easier, gives it a little bit more moisture to mix. And and the coconut flakes. It's hard to find the unsweetened. I had to look in the organic section. And then our vanilla, which makes it nice and rich. And our spices. Oops, that didn't go over too well. Wanted to make sure that spices get down enough. And let's try again. All right, this is not mixing it as well as I was hoping. So let's give it a little hand here, pushing everything down. I probably should have used the food processor instead of the Ninja. All right. Let's try again. Mix it up a little bit more. Believe it or not, it is working. It's just farther down. It's hard to see. It is further down. All right. We'll give it one more. Okay, so now what we do is we take this and we put this in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna make little balls from it. I made some ahead of time, and this is what it looks like. Now, I put mine, I made some last night, one to check, make sure I liked it. It is a little bit spicy, but it is very good. The texture is smooth, so it's not like a cakey texture. It's more like a brownie texture, but these are delicious. Yum. And just another little way of using pumpkin. The next pumpkin recipe I'm gonna do is pumpkin pasta. And we're gonna start with 16 ounces of penne pasta, already cooked. And by the way, I used organic chickpea penne, 100% chickpea, 20 grams of protein, awesome. So we start with 16 ounces of penne pasta, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 garlic cloves minced. Now I didn't use 2 because I'm not a big fan of garlic, so I did half. I did half of that. 1 cup of pumpkin puree, 1 cup of the reserved pasta water, which is still hot, and a half a cup of half and half, 3/4 a cup of milk, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, a teaspoon of salt, and we'll be using a cup of Parmesan cheese. So I already cooked the pasta so that I could get that cup of pasta water. So in this skillet, we're gonna start with olive oil, the 2 tablespoons of olive oil, or teaspoons. And then we're gonna throw the garlic in, and we're just going to let that cook for a little bit. I'll put it up a little higher. And then we'll add some of these other ingredients and get it cooking. So while it's cooking, let me talk a little bit about pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns and how we started coming out with what's the history of jack-o'-lanterns. Jack-o'-lantern comes from that old Irish folktale, and it's called Stingy Jack. And legend has it that Stingy Jack invited the devil himself to have a drink with him at a bar. But Jack wasn't called stingy for nothing. He wanted to get away with a free drink. So he tricked the devil into picking up the bar tab. That didn't go over very well. And after Jack passed away, he was prevented from moving on to the afterlife as a punishment from the devil. And so Jack was cursed to eternally wander the earth in the dead of night, just holding a single coal amber to guide him. So Jack would place his light in the hollowed out turnips. Back then they carved turnips. And from that point forward, he began to be called Jack of the Lantern, or Jack-o'-lantern for short. So in reverence to this Irish tale, people began to carve out vegetables in jack-o'-lantern's likeness. So they carved produce that served as a deterrent to keep Jack away from lighting the way for the good spirits. And so pumpkins weren't the first items that they carved. They used to carve turnips and other root vegetables because that's what they had, and they'd put them out at All Hallows Eve, which is Halloween. So the original carvings were meant as a deterrent to scare away Jack from the homesteads. And many of the Irish families immigrated to America in the 1880s or 1800s, and so they found pumpkins, and they thought pumpkins were better specimens for carving, and so they started to carve pumpkins. So we're going to add a pumpkin. And I'm going to turn it down now. And let's go with the puree, or the water. Oh my goodness, the half and half. And the milk. And the nutmeg. And the salt. I also went a little easy on the salt because I'm not a big salt person, and you know, if you have high blood pressure, you want to definitely go easy on the salt. All right, so we're adding everything but the pasta and the cheese. Now let's let this cook up a little bit. Now, what's beautiful and awesome about these induction stoves and stove tops is that it cooks really fast, really fast. That's the nutmeg, those little black spots in there, right? Yeah, because I'm trying to see, what was it? Or maybe it's from the pumpkin puree as well. All right, let me turn it up a tiny bit and let it thicken. Okay, so the tradition of pumpkin carvings has stuck ever since. And so it's really the lighting of the way of spirits that's carried over. And so we carve pumpkins on Halloween and we put them out as jack-o'-lanterns so that we are guiding the good spirits to our house. There we go. We're getting nice and thick now. All right, so now I'm going to put in the Parmesan cheese. Let me do that first and let it dissolve a little bit before I put in. Here we go. And let that melt. Oops. That's what I get. We're going over. There we go, nice. And then I'll put the pasta in. Woo, let's hope it doesn't overflow. And I'm going to turn it down. Here we go. Oops, that's better. Let it simmer a little bit. Nice. Oh, that looks good. Well, that's a big portion right there. Turn this off. And I'm going to sprinkle it with a little bit more Parmesan cheese on top. And there we have it. Looks delicious. So today we made some no-bake pumpkin pie bites, and we made some pumpkin pasta using garbanzo pasta. We also have some pumpkin seeds that we made, that I made and heated up after Steve carved his jack-o'-lantern. And we know the history of jack-o'-lantern and how that started. So I'd like to thank you for joining me today, and I wish you a happy and safe and healthy Halloween. And I look forward to seeing you next time on Get Healthy with Holly.